Hey guys, it's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe, and I wanted to do a quick video talking about my mom. So my mom's a pretty funny character. She she sort of overreacts in regards to horror movies. So we would go, a good memory of mine is we would go to like a Blockbuster or a Hollywood Video, on a Friday night, and she would, walk around and look at the new releases, and we'd kind of split off, but sometimes we'd come back together, and she would go, oh my God, I can't watch that. She would like get so dramatic and like clutch her chest and like, make it sound like it was the biggest deal in the world. She did this so much that I didn't really get into horror movies until I got a little older because I think I was sort of uh, dissuaded from watching them because she was so like not over the top, but they bothered her. So I remember specifically of certain films that we'd see the covers of at the Blockbuster or the Hollywood Video, and she would, oh my God, oh that scares me. I can't watch that. So it would make me laugh. Um, she's since told me that the Saw series really bothers her because of the gore and the violence. I don't have it on Blu-ray anymore, so I can't show the packaging. But I'm sure most of you know what the Saw films are and what they're about. They call them torture porn, which is kind of a dumb term if you ask me. But anyway, so that scares her. There used to be a movie that I believe came out in the early '90s or maybe late '80s called, I want to say it was Head of the Family, and I've watched it maybe 6 months ago, and it was not scary. It's almost like comedic, where there's this evil character with this large head, like humongous, and this tiny body in like a wheelchair or something. And I remember passing that a few times in the Blockbuster and her kind of making a statement about it. And it reminds me of her, which is funny because she hates it, but it reminds me of her. So here are some of the other movies that remind me of her that she would get extremely scared about, or however, overreact. One of them is The Hills Have Eyes. This is the remake, which I think is better than the original, from what I recall. My brother used to quote this movie, and like not this sounds funny, but not when we were kids. More recently, he would quote this movie to her and walk around and going goggle, 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 and like call her names and act really, like silly. And she would get like uneasy about it because she hates these movies. Sorry about that. My espresso was finished and it was whistling like a teapot, so I didn't want it to be in the background. So she would get really nervous, or go, "Oh my God, I don't like that," and he would like quote the movie. And he used to, he did this pretty recently, from what I probably a year ago. He would turn his head really slow and weird and go, "Do you want to play with me?" Because in the movie, there's those deformed children from the nuclear, the atom bomb zone they were doing the testing on or whatever it was, and the bombing site. And the girl has like, a messed up face with like another face on it. She turns around all cute, but then it ends up being like creepy. So he would do that and sort of like creep my mother out. The one that I remember the most that would bother my mom is the Texas Chainsaw series. Here are the two that stand out. Maybe even Next Generation as well, which I have, but I didn't bring upstairs. We would pass these, and as the years went on, originally you would see this out on like a staff pick section, and then you'd go a little further and, into the years, and maybe this came out, Leatherface 3 or Next Generation with Matthew McConaughey, and she would just see the cover from a distance. And it would be on like a corner, like an end cap, and she'd go, "Oh my God, no, that's so scary. That's based on something real. Those guys chasing those people around is it's horrifying." And I would just laugh. So I've spoken about my father in a video about a year or two ago now, probably more, of movies that remind me of my dad. So I wanted to tell you about movies that remind me of my mom that make me laugh because she's so uneasy when she just sees the covers in what used to be rental stores. So just a nice little memory and showing off some movies I enjoy. Thanks, guys, for watching. It's Vampire Mike from Sega CD Universe. Be good.